Titans fans, congratulations on a big time win against the Denver Broncos yesterday. Steven Gostkowski missed a lot of field goals, and it was a sloppy game for both teams. I thought Denver would come out, prove they're the better football team, and I was wrong yesterday. I thought that the prediction was not accurate. But the Titans fans, congratulations. You look at your team right now, and Tannehill is better than I expected. A.J. Brown is as good as he was year one. Derrick Henry looks like he has a couple of good years left in him. I think Tannehill played well yesterday. I still, think that Tom Brady, for 2 years might have been better than Tannehill. But at the same time, Ryan played pretty solid ball yesterday. Corey Davis, I like Corey Davis a lot. He played really well. Corey's a guy that, Corey's a great receiver, great possession guy, and him and A.J. Brown complement each other well. Clowney's playing good football. You look at the division. The Jaguars' defense, for as good as they won, the Jaguars' defense is still too young, and they still played very poorly against the Colts. Phillip Rivers and the Colts, their defense was bad, and also Phillip Rivers is just old, and he looks shot, and he's not a clutch quarterback. And then you got the Texans and Bill O'Brien, who gave away DeAndre Hopkins, and Hopkins had 14 catches, looks outstanding. The Texans don't have any weapons. The Texans' defense is also terrible now. Nobody seems to talk about that. So it's really looking like you guys are going to win the division unless the Jaguars can step up. So you guys might win the division again. You're going to run into the Bills. You're going to run into really good teams in the postseason. But 2 years of postseason ball is very, very good, and I'm a Giants fan, so you guys win football games. And I had a lot of fun. The preview before the game was fun. Some things are going to be, you're going to get some games right, and then other times you guys will bring the smack talk in. It's all part of the NFL experience. And that's why we love sports. We love sports because we can talk about it. It's not incredibly serious. It's a lot of fun. And Tennessee, you guys played well. If Gostkowski even made more kicks, you guys would have won. And now I'll talk about this game from a Denver Bronco perspective. I have a lot of Broncos fans that watch the content. I thought that Pat Shurmur was bad. I predicted Shurmur would not be the right coordinator for this team. And the shovel pass on 4th and goal was horrendous. People expected before the season, they expected this Drew Lock offense to be like steroid they expected it to be greatest show on turf. You have Jerry Jeudy, you have guys that you can name in a newspaper, you have Noah Fant, you got what's his name, of course Cortland Sutton didn't play, but and these are talented guys. You got Alberto. First off, the one thing about this offense now is that you need the coach to go along with it. If you had Drew Brees, Michael Thomas, Alvin Kamara, but you had like an old stale coach, or you had Pat Shurmur running the Saints, they wouldn't be as effective. You have Cam Newton. If you put Cam Newton with Matt Nagy, he wouldn't be Cam Newton with Bill Belichick and Josh McDaniels. It's like the Broncos, they have the pieces to go and be unbelievably fun. If you put Andy Reid behind this ship would go 120. If you put Andy Reid behind this truck or this car would go 120 miles an hour on the freeway. It would be absolutely euphoric. But you're stuck with Pat Shurmur. It's like you're getting a V8 engine. It's like you're putting a V8 engine on a 1980 Chevy Silverado that can only go, 70 miles per hour. That's like broken down. And that's the thing. You have the engine. You're ready to rock and roll. But the car is just absolutely actually awful. Maybe the analogy would be better. It's like you have the car, you have a Ferrari, but yet the driver of the car doesn't know how to drive the car, and that's Pat Shurmur. And the point is with these Denver Broncos is that Drew Lock is he slings the ball. He has great arm strength. He looks even better than he did last year. His mechanics, his confidence, he's not turning it over. He's throwing the ball with authority. The throw to Judy was phenomenal. The way that he can escape the pocket and extend plays, Drew Lock's better than Daniel Jones. Like, he really is. And Drew Lock's a stud. This defense, you're relying on Vic Fangio to have a great defense, but your defense, if you're gonna be a defense and win like in today's NFL, you got to be like Pittsburgh Steelers good. You got to dominate a game, and Tennessee didn't really get all that bothered by the defense. Derrick Henry still ran the rock. The Titans still moved it. They were still able to hit Corey Davis over the middle. No Von Miller. You still got Josie Jewell out there, and I was a big Jewell fan. And I hope he can be excellent for this Broncos team. You had Callahan out there. We had to check in on the corners. Just looked like the corners were dropping like flies out there, like A.J. Boye and these other guys. But Pat Shurmur, I just don't like this offense because they're not aggressive enough with Drew Lock. Shovel pass, trying to run Melvin Gordon. Let Drew Lock, just let him go. Let Drew Lock just be Drew Lock. Have a gunslinger mentality. Where's the Bruce Arians air the crap out of the ball mentality? When the Broncos cross the 30-yard line, let's go call play action, take your shot, and get a touchdown already. Drew Lock's so damn good. He has such a big arm, Jerry Jeudy's a great route runner. Wait till Cortland comes back. It's like, why do you have to settle for this Pat Shurmur team? And then if you're John Elway and you're the new owner of the Denver Broncos, Vic Fangio is just old. He's just not a good coach. How many close games are you going to lose? Last year, the Minnesota game with Brandon Allen. Constantly, Joe Flacco even called out Vic Fangio. You can go back to last year's game. They just are experts at losing close games. And what do you need in a close game? You need coaching and you need some savviness down the stretch. And just utter malpractice from Vic Fangio. One of the worst coaching jobs of week one. It was just awful. It's like Vic Fangio had 3 timeouts left. You have 1 minute and 20 seconds left. Vic Fangio was the head coach last year when the Chargers took the lead. And then Drew Lock, when you have Drew Lock's arm in mile high and you have McManus who could kick from 60. Remember that game? It was Drew Lock. I think it was versus the Chargers. He threw it to Cortland. They got a pass interference. You even saw the Rams-Cowboys game. Dak Prescott, what was it, 3rd and 20? He's throwing the ball 70 yards, and if not for a BS call, the Cowboys were in shape to win a game or to take it into overtime. You see long throws all the time. People could score quickly. It's a minute. It's a minute long. And if he were to take those timeouts, Drew Lock could have driven down into McManus range. He could have won the game. So he's really to blame for this. And then if Vic Fangio is going to go out there in his post-game press conference, I'm sure I'm going to watch that. If he's going to use the excuse, well, Gostkowski sucked all game, we were banking on him missing a 20-yard kick and won, there's a big difference between a 44-yard kick and a 25-yard kick. That's not even an extra point, a 25-yard kick. Even 50-year-old former kickers can make that field goal. But the point is, if you take timeouts and it's 1 minute left, you could still run the clock out anyway. Like, if he misses the kick, and even if you're stopping the clock and he misses the kick, it's only 1 minute left and the Titans have 2 timeouts. You could probably need the ball down and win the football game. So that was just bizarre. The Broncos, even though this game, I said the Broncos would crush the Titans, the Broncos had control of the game. The Titans gave them gifts, and the Broncos had the ball on the 40-yard line up by 2 points, 40 seconds to go, and They couldn't get one first down to end the game. The offense didn't do its job. And that's just the reality of it. You can blame it on Locke, missing the throw to Hamilton, and just a lot of stuff went wrong. Drew Lock, big third down, ball, his arm gets deflected. But at that point, third and, 3 yards, they're running like a 20-yard go route. So just a lot of damn mistakes. I just don't think, Fangio going forward, I really have my doubts that he's the guy for the Denver Broncos. And Fangio and Shermer. And I don't get getting rid of Scangarello and bringing in Shermer. And people want to make it out like this Case Keenum year was something out of a movie, Case Keenum and the Vikings and him being the offensive coordinator there. Pat Shermer's never driven a souped-up offense. I want an offense. I want a Lincoln Riley-style offense. I want a lot of fun. I want high-flying. I want a lot of points. I want, go hire Joe Brady from the Panthers. Do it. That's what I want them to do from the Broncos, man. Hire a young offensive coordinator. Have some fun in the Mile High City. Put together some points. Let's have a party. Hire Joe Brady. That's the guy that I would want if I'm Denver. But hey, give Vic Fangio the year. Let's see him turn it around, make the playoffs. It's possible in this division, and there's 7 playoff teams. The defense is still all right. It's not unbelievable. Got Pittsburgh next. That's going to be a real bear of a game. It's going to be brutal. If you're 0-2, you got to bounce back. I'm not confident that much in this team going to Pitt and winning. If you can't beat Tennessee at home, going to Pittsburgh on the road. Big Ben, that defensive line's unbelievable. It's not like Gordon's going to really be great. And Gordon has a fumbling issue. So there's some issues with the team. If they would have won last night, you can blame it on Gostkowski missing all the field goals. Titans were just a little bit of a better team, and considering it was on the road week 1, Titans were the better team last night. They were. And the Titans, they couldn't even complete that touchdown pass. It was a good audible. Good audible by Tennessee and Arthur Smith. And good catch by Pruitt in the end zone. And A.J. Brown had that ball in the end zone, and Tannehill kind of overthrew it. A.J. Brown looked like he could have caught it, and Vrabel outcoached Vic Fangio badly last night. That's what happened. So Titans fans, congrats. It's looking like you guys got a great shot at the division again and 2-0. And for the Broncos, there are some major things to correct.